The first rule is to eat 3 or less small meals per day. Now there are 2 elements to that rule, 3 or less meals and small meals. And I'll deal with the 2 different elements separately. We'll firstly talk about the 3 or less small meals a day. I don't want you to have more than 3 meals a day, but I don't mind if you have less than 3 meals a day. If you're not hungry, don't eat. There's no need to eat a meal because traditionally you have eaten a meal, or because somebody says it's good to eat a meal, or it turns on your metabolism, or some other reason like this. Don't take any notice. If you're not hungry, the body doesn't need any more food. Remember, what we're trying to do is use up the store of food that you've put away over many, many years. We have to eat less than what you need in order to use up that store. So if you wake up in the morning and you don't feel like breakfast, then don't have breakfast. Just have a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, a glass of water. That's fine. And then you go on to the next meal time, which could be lunchtime. But remember, you're not to eat between meals. You have to restrict your eating to those meal times. The second part of the rule is to have small meals. And by small meals, I mean small meals. I mean the amount of food that you could get into half a cup. This is a measuring cup, and it's a half a cup size, and that's the amount of food that you should have at any one meal. Now, it's not a measure so much as a concept, because I'm thinking about compressed food. A lot of food is very loose, very voluminous, and obviously to measure that half a cup as loose food would not be appropriate. It's a compressed food, but that's the amount of food that I would want you to have at a meal. It's a very small amount. In order to make that not look silly, I want you to use a small plate and small fork and small spoon. Just by the mere fact of using a small plate and small utensils, you will eat less. Even if you hadn't had a band, you would eat less. But make sure you put your food onto a small plate. On a large plate, it would look ridiculous. And then use a small fork, and this is an oyster fork. It's an ideal size for a bite of food after the band.